Hi friends, welcome back. So the markets felt toppy the last couple of days. We were just talking about the meme coins and other cryptocurrencies, etc. And today they feel very, very crashy. So I'm thinking maybe we just saw the top. You can see the headline here. It says Bitcoin rises to record above 69,000, then quickly tumbles 10%. And it definitely feels like a pump and dump to me. I'll be curious what your guys' thoughts on that. Will we see this number ever again, or is this going to be the all-time high for crypto slash Bitcoin that we ever see? Moreover, we got a combination of bad news from a couple big companies. So first, I think this is the one that was really driving the market. So you had the Bitcoin situation, right, with the basically pump and dump. And then you have the Apple bad news, which is essentially their iPhone sales are down 24%. That's actually pretty significant. And this is in China. You have a couple issues, right? So one is the Chinese economy is slowing. People aren't necessarily want to go out and spend money on $1,000 phones. And moreover, you have cheaper alternatives, right? And the Huawei phones are pretty good. I've had one myself. I think that was, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago. It was the 6P. It was pretty good. I currently have an iPhone. I'm happy with my iPhone. But it wasn't like a noticeable major drop off. It was a fine phone. And these days the only way to get me to buy a new phone, and I've been talking about this for a while. Once Apple releases that flippy phone, I'll probably get one. But if they price it at 2,000, I don't know. I mean, these kind of things I easily lose, I easily drop, etc. And it's just a lot of money to shell out for a thing that is I don't. I'm just telling you guys, I don't notice a significant difference between, say, a $2,000 phone and a $1,000 phone. I mean, my phone is fine, but it's essentially what Apple has to convince you to do is like, how can they bring out new technology to get you to buy more and get you to buy it every year? Already their headset came out at $3,500, which is pretty expensive. I think it's such a small market for that thing, but we'll see. But yes, their iPhone sales are down 24%, and that is essentially biggest product in Apple's lineup. Moreover, Tesla had a weird issue with in Germany, like there's some sort of arson attack on their Gigafactory. So who knows what's going on over there? And moreover, Tesla's also facing slowdowns in China. It was like 19% less deliveries, and moreover, they're also facing competition, right? So, you guys can do the math on this. You have slowing economies around the world, right? So less money in the system. Consumers are less willing to buy money on, these big ticket priced items. Moreover, you also have essentially more competition. So more competition for fewer dollars. That's essentially what we're looking at here. Also, too, and I don't know if someone wasn't paying the bills or something like that. Instagram and Facebook, and I guess Messenger was down. I noticed it yesterday. Actually, I was playing around on Instagram and I noticed it was down. And I checked my network because it said like internet connection, and I wondered if it was something wrong with our home. But we were fine. It was just that something was wrong with Instagram/Facebook. And if you're checking out Instagram yesterday, you might have saw. I was celebrating my 49th birthday, and I'll release a video on this soon. Every now and then we do vlogs on this channel, and always appreciate you guys watching these things. Let's check out the news some more. Target had their earnings, and there was a couple things that really stood out to me. The first one was, I guess they're going to build new stores, 300 new ones. You guys can see this here. And it's interesting because this relates to Macy's, where they were saying they're going to close some Macy's, but then focus on their luxury stores. I guess Target's just like, we're going to put more money into this and to try to grow our company. Moreover, they're doing this thing. This is Target, called Target Circle 360. And it says here, same day delivery on orders of over $35 and free 2-day shipping. I didn't see what the price to membership of this thing is, but it's going to be fascinating. So when I lived in the USA, I just get everything on Amazon, basically. However, there are people out there that do Walmart and Target, and I guess also Amazon. Those are three. And I don't know if like Costco does deliveries these days. I'm just saying, if Target's doing it, maybe they think it's profitable. It's not easy to do these kind of things when you got to, hire drivers and all that kind of stuff, unless they're going to use, UPS. I don't know what they're up to, but evidently they've crunched the numbers and they're going to say, hey, we're going to do it. And I'll be curious you guys' thoughts on this. Like I said, I mentioned I use Amazon when I'm in USA. But if anyone's had luck with, say, the Walmart or maybe Target delivery, I'd like to hear some thoughts on that. I think it's pretty interesting. Moreover, what else is going on in the news here? I want to show you guys this. This is a chart of Bitcoin. This is kind of an interesting chart. It kind of shows the key events in the life cycle of crypto. So yeah, the FTX collapse, which we covered on this channel, you guys know. And then was this back here was the BlackRock files for the spot ETF. The court rules in favor of Grayscale, and then you have the SEC approves the Bitcoin ETF, and then you have this rocket shot up. It still feels like a pump and dump to me, at least of today. But yes, I'm well aware in a trading market or in this kind of thing, you got a long life of this ahead of this, and some people may say it's going to go much higher from here. We'll see. This is the volume of crypto as a whole. So it's actually really interesting if you look at the chart. So the dark blue is your Bitcoin. Your light sort of medium blue is your Ethereum, and then the light blue is the other. And the basic thing you're looking for is like how much a volume of, or market cap, I should say, of crypto is Bitcoin. And I think it's kind of in the half category. I mean, like I said, you guys can see it here. So like total crypto, money is around, so this would be trillion. So I guess in the 2.2 trillion, something like that. So in the past though, there was definitely more money in crypto as a whole, right? When you add it all up together. So we're actually down from where we were. Even though we've seen that the surge of Bitcoin has been more like all the altcoins have been dying off. You guys can take a look at this chart here, but it's actually a really interesting one. In terms of the Bitcoin ETFs, I showed you similar charts before. We'll take a look at it again. BlackRock is being the big beneficiary of the ETFs, and then you got Fidelity and ARK. You also too have a couple stocks worth mentioning: MicroStrategy and Coinbase. Now Coinbase is interesting. There was some weird issue with like. And I don't use Coinbase, so I don't know. You guys can chime in on this, but where like people were finding zero balance or something with their Coinbase, and it was just like some sort of error. So if you guys are still experiencing that problem, let me know. I just did see that was in the news. Now, where are people actually buying this Bitcoin and stuff? So I guess it's Binance. They're the leaders by far. You can see here. So it's saying here what they're like. What is this? $1 billion was a cumulative volume delta, net ratio of Bitcoin buying versus selling, known as cumulative volume delta. I see. Because you can look at all trading volume as how much people are buying. But yeah, Binance is the head. And I don't know these other ones like OKX, Bitstamp, Coinbase, Bitphoenix, and Kraken. Yeah, Binance is by far the leader. Now, one of the reasons why, and I've been reading this in multiple articles, why Bitcoin moves the way that it does, is I guess a lot of people are betting like futures / options / derivatives on this stuff, and they're making heavy bets. So it'll have these extreme moves, and then this was saying that I guess after it went down 10%, it's like 800 million in crypto liquidation. So who knows? I don't mess with this like kind of derivative option stuff on crypto or at all in the markets. I think it's highly speculative and risky. And also too when you're doing it and these kind of things. Some of these exchanges now, because I followed this with the whole FTX debacle, and that's sort of when I covered it that I knew something was up. Actually, Sam Bankman-Fried, what he really wanted, this was his end game, was to get government approval on, again, options and derivatives for crypto, and also to extreme leverage, like 10-to-1 kind of stuff or whatever. So essentially the riskiest asset, the riskiest way to trade said risky asset, and also give you leverage. So there may be other crypto exchanges out there that do that, not necessarily FTX, but because, there are other ones that exist, and I don't know. I don't mess around with these crypto exchanges, but you guys can let me know. I want to take a look at a couple of the charts here too. Let's pull this up. So you can see here, like I say, what's moving today. So you can see tech was the leaders in the downside. So there's your QQQ, then you had the Dow and the S&P. And then you can actually take a look at by sectors. Tech again is the leader in the downside, then real estate, consumer discretionary, industrials. So a couple of the sectors were up, and I show you guys this from time to time. I was at financial services, consumer staples, and energy, but most stuff was down. Also too, which is quite interesting if you look at like trying to figure out, what exactly is moving up and down. All of it was down, actually. Value, growth, quality, low volatility, right? There wasn't really many places that you could hide. And that's sort of what we're looking at here. We'll check the bonds. So what's this here? You always check the 2-year and the 10-year. 2-year is at 4.55. The 10-year is at 4.14. So we're still inverted. And I laugh because it's been like that for a while. I would expect recessionary type action coming. I mean, that's just sort of what the numbers would indicate. And, and sometimes people try to say that this time is different, but I don't know. When I see the news, and actually we'll go back to the news here, of what's going on in China, it's hard to make the case that it's going to be different. So what they're doing right now in China is they're trying to convince people that everything's great. And the government's been having meetings about, what's the future of the economy and what's the plan, et cetera. So they want to shoot for a 5% growth in GDP. And to give you guys a frame of reference how things have really changed in China, take a look at this. So this is a chart of the government's targets. So back in 2013, they were like, hey, 7% would be awesome. And I was in China a long time ago. So I lived in 3 different cities, Shanghai, Shenzhen, and Beijing. But when I was in Beijing, this is the time of the Olympics. I used to teach at Tsinghua University, which is the top university there. and you were looking at double-digit growth, and everything was really exciting, etc. But you guys can see, like, it's just the kind of expectations have really slowed down. And one of the things that the government has done, there's a couple things. One is that they've really tried to keep confidence going in the system. It's just frankly been a bubble for a while, and you're also facing a declining population, right? So if you keep building real estate, and keep building apartments, etc., and essentially people were putting money into these things as speculation, not necessarily places to live, thinking that you buy it thinking that's going to go up, but there's just not enough people to fill said places, and moreover they were building it in like less desirable regions. So let's say, for example, in USA, just say for example, I say, hey everyone, we're gonna build a whole bunch of new luxuries, sky rises in Oklahoma or something like that, like the middle of the country where there's no jobs and like nothing really there. And yes, on paper, if everything goes up, it would seem fantastic, but the truth is people don't necessarily want to live there, and don't want to how can I say, don't want to necessarily shame people in Oklahoma, but I just want to give you reality. There's other cities that are more desirable, be it jobs are more there, or more plentiful, or better scenic, be it mountains or rivers and oceans, etc. You get my point. It's the same in China though. Just some places are a little bit better than others. Some places are really hot, so it's just less desirable to live in. Moreover, the Chinese economy is facing deflation, which is a big problem when essentially prices are decreasing and things are slowing down. So that's been for a while. This is the blue lines right here. You can see most recently. And they're trying to set the targets, and this is sort of like you guys can check this out. This is like, where do they want CPI, where do they want their GDP growth, et cetera, what about their jobless rates? The numbers, who knows if it really matters at all? And because people always ask me, hey, Chris, when you look at the Chinese numbers, does it matter what they say? Right? Like, can you trust any of these numbers anyway? Right? I get your point. But we just keep an eye on it because you get a sense of like, what is the government trying to push to the people? One of the things they're doing is they're trying to essentially get things going with government spending. One thing I read, and I've read it multiple times, is that when the Chinese market crashes, sometimes the state comes in and starts buying up stocks, or they make rules that traders can't, hedge funds can't sell stocks at certain periods of the market, like the first hour and the last hour, or they say, hey, companies, or they literally tell companies, you need to buy back your own stock. So they have all these artificial ways to try to prop up their market. So it's hard to trust anything that's going on over there, to be honest. And then they're doing this thing here. It's an ultra long special sovereign bond. I think it's 139 billion, I want to say. And again, they're trying to bring money in. One of the things I thought was interesting about this is they removed the language regarding real estate. This thing that really stood out to me. So I'll just read it to you. It says, Xi's mantra that housing is for living in, not speculation, was omitted from the work report for the first time since 2019. So if you understand what's going on here, is like they're trying to encourage more money to come to real estate. Say, oh, okay, we'll let you speculate because we need your money. We need your money to bail out the real estate market. So that's what's going on. A lot of stuff happening in the market. Like I said, the last couple of days it felt toppy. Now it feels very crashy. And I feel like all of these things are finally catching up to where valuations have been too high on many of these companies. And you guys don't understand this basic gist of it is essentially, right, if you're pricing, say, we'll just use Tesla as an example, if you're pricing Tesla to be, doubling their growth every year, and that's the price stock is based on that, plus, having great technology like your full self-driving, et cetera. But if the driving doesn't come and you're not selling enough cars, then suddenly your stock is extremely overvalued, and that's sort of what you're seeing. It starts to catch up with you, and essentially money gets sucked out of the system, right? So anyway, that's what's going on. I'd love to hear your thoughts on any one of these stories, and I'll catch you in the next video.